sales as a process, and what you said is so important. And also there's a marketing aspect. So I don't know when you'll delve into that, because it seems to be a combination of both, that when you do sales and lead generation, those customers have to be pulled in by something other than that. You have a value proposition and you have what they need. So actually my key issues has become the combination between sales and marketing, because I already find your training has been amazing. I mean, you have a good, the training has been amazing in terms of learning in terms of learning how to define your customer, how to understand the 16% rule, and also the 80% to give you 20% and the 16% to give you 80%, and breaking down the whole channel. Now it's like, how do you now build a lead acquisition and lead generation using other now marketing tools and putting it as a system in a business, so there's a consistent flow of clientele into the business. That's been the challenge.
Thank you, Elizabeth. You've gone through the 5 days challenge, right?
Yes, I did. I didn't finish the last one.
Oh, okay. We covered that in the 12 weeks accelerator. You know, the 5 days are too short to cover everything. So we have a 12 weeks accelerator that you need to join. We are starting in January. The next cohort is in January for the 12 weeks.
Oh, yeah. And how much is it?
We will discuss that.
Because you know that one you charged us 3,000 for the 5 day. It was amazing. It was really.
It was actually an offer. The coming ones are higher.
Yeah, because you had put it at 20,000 before, then you put an offer of 3,000, and it was really valuable. So I hope even this one you'll do an offer.
We'll unawatetea. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll just give one more person, the one who joined before 9.
I'm saying my name is Nina. I'm an entrepreneur. I run an insurance agency. And this sounds very interesting. So I thought I can start the first step. I have not joined any of the sessions before, but I'm really looking forward to joining the sessions.
Awesome, Nina. So now for those who did not come before 9, please introduce yourself in the chat. And this is how you're going to introduce yourself. You're going to say your name, where you're joining us from, what you sell, and to who. Okay, your name, where you're joining us from, what you sell, and to who. And if Valerie, you want to say something, you joined, I think, like 10 minutes before, I can give you that chance as people are typing. Would you like to do that? Okay. I think Valerie is not there. So just type your name, where you're joining us from, and what you sell, and who you sell to. Okay. So as you do that, because we only have 1 hour, I would like to start the meeting. Please go ahead and keep typing your name, where you're joining us from, what you sell, and who you sell it to. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and then we're going to start. So today, okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, so today, as we shared in our posters, is basically looking at how do you sell every day consistently, because one of the things that have realized most entrepreneurs and salespeople don't do is that you want sales to happen, But one thing I'll tell you is that sales don't happen. You know, sales that will lead to your business growth do not happen. They are made to happen. You have to make them happen. So that's what we'll be talking about today. And before I even dive into it, just to let you know what we'll be looking at by the end of the session, I want you to love selling, you know, just fall in love with selling because it's the lifeblood of every business. It is the core of your business. Unfortunately, it is what is neglected most, yet is the most important part of your business. And we'll also look at some strategies on how you can position yourself to consistently sell. And then I will give you an offer as Wajiko is asking for it. I will have some offer for you. So why do we sell? Why do we sell? We sell because nothing happens until somebody sells something. And selling is so misconceived. It's one of the, I would say, salespeople are traumatized because they're looked at as, you know, you are equated to a hawker or to a con or to, you know, all the misconceptions about selling, especially those who sell insurance. How many do we have here? How many insurance salespeople are here? Let me see by a show of hands. Yeah, those are the most feared people. But the thing is, if nobody sells, then solutions are not provided. So nothing happens. It doesn't matter how good your product is. Those who are in software, like Atanas, you design very good products, but if you don't get to the market and sell, then they're useless. I mean, because nothing will happen. You'll have just spent your money and time, and then nothing happens. Nobody will know that they exist. And then selling is about listening. You listen to understand. Now, as those who joined early, there was a video that I was taking you through on focus. And you realize that, you know, there's so much noise around, especially now that you could be, you know, in a private place, but you're all over because there's noise everywhere. There's a noise from your phone, noise from your social media. There's so much noise. And the question is, who is listening? And salespeople, entrepreneurs and salespeople are the ones to take the position of listening. So you listen so that you understand, and then you provide the solution. So you're listening to your customers, you're asking them so that you understand their problem, and then you look at the product that you have. Can it solve that problem that they have? And one thing, the other thing that I keep saying time and again is that selling is service. You're providing service to other people. You're offering, you know, you're serving people. So if anybody thinks that you're not doing a good job, let them know that you're called to serve. And you're serving people by providing the solutions that you have. Okay? So selling is a service to others. And one thing I learned is that when you sell, you are ahead of the pack. Let me give an example. The fuel prices are going up. How many people who are earning a flat salary are going to cope with the rising of the prices? Only entrepreneurs and salespeople can be able to go, you know, to rise, or rather to raise their income as the cost of living increases. So if the fuel price has gone up 20%, then you should be increasing your income 50%, my friend. All right. So we are not the people who should be complaining that, you know, life is so hard or so difficult. We should be the people asking, what is the challenge that people are going through, and how can my product solve this challenge? How can my product provide a solution to the problem that is existing? And in that process, then it means you increase your income. It means that you grow your income. And the point is here, and the goal is always increase your income faster than the cost of living is increasing. Tuko pamoja? Please type in the chat if you're getting me, and type what you're hearing. Okay. Selling is about helping your customers succeed with your product. One of the reasons why salespeople are not respected is because there are some few salespeople who have not done a good job. So you hit and run. You see, you know, when you get an accident where somebody is hit on the road and they disappear. That is what some salespeople do. You hit and run. When you hit and run, what happens is that you do not follow up to ensure that your customers are succeeding with the product that you sold to them. So once you sell your product, you need to follow up and find out, are my customers happy? How are they using my product? So that then you can be able to know how you can scale that solution. So that's the reason why we sell. So my question is, why have you not been selling? And let me stop sharing the screen so that I hear from you why you have not been selling or why you're struggling with sales. You can type in the chat, or you can raise your hand and unmute yourself. Elizabeth, you're raising your hand. Please.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, so the reason for I'm not saying the people we are able to attract into the business to work are not passionate, not passionate, are not able to convert in the cross-selling and upselling. Yeah, so that's what is affecting our selling. It's aggressive salespeople, like getting the right people who actually would do the work well. That's my biggest problem when it comes to sales.
Send them to me.
Oh, by the way, that's true. Eunice, we need to talk after this.
And one thing I would say is, and this is a challenge for many entrepreneurs, hiring salespeople is not enough. You know, enabling them to sell is very important. And you can't enable them until you yourself first understand what is needed, and then you can be able to enable them. And selling is a very high pressure job. So it requires self-motivation. You know, you don't need external inspiration. And one of the things that we do at 20X is to make the salespeople, to make the entrepreneurs own their own goals. People are not there to work for you, Elizabeth. They will work for themselves, but not for you. And so what we help them do is to work for themselves. As they work for themselves, then your sales go up. And yeah, we can have that conversation. Let me see in the chat. Why are you not selling? All right. Why are you not selling? Let me hear anybody else. Please type in the chat. Okay, can we say that everybody here is selling? That's why you guys are not speaking.
Yeah, so my name is Isaiah.
Hi, Isaiah. Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
So the reason why I'm not selling is because sometimes you'd find most of the sales guys would actually sell without actually looking at it or doing what we call a needs assessment. And I have, at one time I was in the insurance industry at one time, and we were being told, you sell. Don't even listen to the customer. So I would find a situation where I'm being told to sell a funeral cover to a client, but I'm like, I'm fighting with my conscience that this is not right. And it, like, especially it's like insurance, you're being told customers don't buy, you sell.
Yes.
Yeah, so thanks.
I get it. And it's a very wrong perception because you see, you cannot sell to people who don't need your product. And you cannot know if they need your product if you do not identify, if you do not listen. So the whole purpose about selling is listening. And those are some of the things that we teach in our programs, that we teach what we call attraction selling. Because, you know, there are many people selling your product. So why should people pay attention to you? So you have to be attractive. So it's something we call attraction selling. Raham, please go ahead.
Hi, Eunice.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, yeah. So, I think the problem that we're having as baristas, it's not okay. It's not selling per se, but I feel like we've hit a plateau. As you said, there's something which you said that really caught my attention, that we need to go with your sales need to increase as the cost of living is also going high. Yeah, something like that, right? Higher, right? Yeah. So now what because for us, we're in the travel industry, but us, we will mostly focus on holiday homes here in Diani, in the coastal region. And now one of the challenges that we are having is that I feel like our sales have just remained the same, but the cost of living has gone high. And right now, as it is, mostly what is sustaining us is the local market, especially local tourism.
Okay.
So we've really tried figuring out like how best can we now increase our sales, you know. And then the other problem that we're really facing is that in our industry right now, I think right now almost everyone is into Airbnb. And the sad part is that most people who've joined this industry really don't know what they're doing, and they've really messed the business. So because you're finding also people are scared of, you know, booking Airbnbs because there's been a very high number of people being conned.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Yeah.
So for me, actually, it's just that we need help in trying to figure out how to increase our sales. Selling, we are selling, yes, but we need to increase.
Growing.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
That's yeah.
Okay, so those are some of the reasons that, you know, some are not growing and others are not selling. And I have some of the reasons that I think that make you not sell. And let me share some of them. One of them is that you rely so much on accidental sales. There's something I call accidental sales. Accidental sales is whereby you're waiting for the sale to come. You're hoping that you wake up in the morning and hoping that you're going to sell. And I put it as accidental because accidents, how often do accidents happen? They are likely not to happen. And if they happen, maybe it's once in a long while, maybe in a year or in 5 years or in 3 weeks, depending on what kind of accidents. If you're mostly working in a workshop, then the accidents could be more frequent. But if you're, you're working like me, the accidents are rare. So what I mean by that is that you need to make the sale happen. You need to be intentional. You need to be present to understand, how do my sales come? How does this process work? Because sales is a science. So it's a process that you need to, there's one thing you need to do so that you move to the next, okay? As I hear Graham talking about, stagnating, there's a reason why there's that stagnation. And one of the things we may have to look at is, what was it to get to where you are, and what can change, or what do you need to do more? So you have to be able to understand your sales process. And then many people don't track. And remember, what is not measured is not done. So if you don't track exactly what happens daily in your business, then it cannot be done. So you need to know, when your salespeople say they have gone out, what exactly happens when they're out? What do they do? Okay. And how come they sell some days very well and other days not very well? So you need to have that understanding. The other reason, and it's a big, big, big one, many of the entrepreneurs, because I've been working with entrepreneurs for a while, and one thing that I've noted is that many of them have what you call impotent goals. Impotent goals, you know what impotence is? So when goals are impotent, it means they're not inspiring, they're not yielding fruit. They're just goals set, you're just there. There's nothing inspiring about where you want to go. So yes, you have some goals, Yes, you know that you want to pay bills. Most of them are goals to just pay bills. They're not inspiring. Imagine just living your life to pay bills. There's nothing inspiring about working to pay bills. Yeah. So when you have important goals, then sales, you will not be able to focus on how can I sell more? How can I grow my business? And the other reason is you sell to everybody. When I ask you, and I can just look in the chat to see your introduction, most of the people must have said you're selling to everyone who needs your product. Here, let me see. Did you people introduce yourselves? Okay, you can see. I'm joining. We deal with bulk SMS to business corporates across the country. You see, you're not specific. Yeah, somebody need to be muted. Okay, I've muted her. You get, so if you look at those introductions, I'm not able to see all your introductions, but if you look at most of your introductions, most of you you're selling to a general group of people. So some even will tell me, I sell to everybody who needs my product. And my question is, who is everybody? Everybody is equals to nobody. So when you sell to everybody, then you actually don't sell because you're not specific. You cannot attract the people that need your product. So you have to clarify who exactly is your customer. Yeah. So don't sell to everybody. The other reason I think makes you not sell is that you expect that people know what you're selling. And most of you use jargons. So you'll hear somebody saying that I am in software industry. What is that? I am in branding. What is that? You see, because you're so close to your product, you normally imagine that we actually know your product, that we understand. We don't. So be very specific, be very clear when you're introducing your product, and be very clear who it is for. We have one of my coaches. I don't know what you call people who you're coaching? Coaches, yeah. One of my coaches struggled a lot because she was telling us that she sells eco-friendly products. And she kept insisting they're eco-friendly. And I asked her, what are these eco-friendly products? And now I asked her, just dismantle, which ones are they? No, we sell bags that are recyclable. You get? But when you say, yes, we sell eco-friendly products, what are those? You understand? So do not expect that we know what you're selling. Do not expect that we even know how you do it. If you can't explain it to a 4-year-old, then you also don't know it. Just remember that. If you can't explain what you do to a 4-year-old and they understand it, you also don't understand it. So you're not selling, all right? And before I dive into a few strategies that I think you can use, I want to just share my journey. And my journey is basically built on, or rather has been marked with a lot of turning situations into opportunities, difficult situations into opportunities. Like these situations we are in, high prices of commodity, some people may not even be feeling it because they have learned the art of, okay, fine, somehow, someday, these prices will go up, other times they'll go down, but you're in business. So how do you position yourself to always take advantage of the situation and turn the situation into opportunities? So I'll briefly just introduce who I am for those who may not know me. To some of you, maybe this is like the second time you're joining our webinar. I studied chemistry and maths in the University of Nairobi. Oh, I share university with the president, the first president who has studied in Kenya. So it gives us hope, some of us, that you can study in the local university and become a president. right? And then after that, I worked a little bit in the pharmaceutical company. I worked as a lab, they called us quality control assistants, basically working in the lab, ensuring that when you buy paracetamol, it is 400 mg and it is not 401. Yeah. And then after that, I realized I was not cut out for the lab and needed to work with people. And I got a job with IAT. IAT is at the Institute of Advanced Technology. This is where I was actually trained to be a trainer. And it's also the place where I studied my ICT. I am a Microsoft certified system engineer, and I've done many technical courses. I don't know whether they exist. We were called A+, N+. A+ is user support, networking support, and internet support. Then at that time, internet was just gaining ground. And I was one of the, actually, I was best trainer for the 2 years that I was training a particular course that we used to be graded. And then after training for 5 years, I realized I needed to get rich. I wanted to get rich. I know that sounds like I shouldn't say that, because especially people who are the Christians, they don't like to say they want to get rich. I wanted to get rich, and I read many books, and I realized that the richest people had to learn selling. So I asked myself, so how do I learn how to sell? So I started buying books on sales. That time I didn't know there was a sales training and all. I only knew that you needed to do a degree in sales and marketing, which I was not ready for. So I was reading books by Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, and I realized that, yes, I can sell. So I looked for a job, and I got a job as an insurance sales agent, selling life insurance, that time at Britam. And my friend, that was the hardest job I have ever done, because the first 3 months I sold zero. I called my students who were working in KPA and KRA, you know, they were having money. I knew they can afford my product, they needed my product, but they refused to pick my calls after I told them I was selling insurance. That's why I was saying there's a lot of stigma with selling job. And I had to figure out, because I went with my colleagues to the field, and the way they were approaching the customer was really, you know, it would put me off, yet I was learning how to sell. And I asked, there must be another way. There must be a way of selling without making people feel guilty, you know, or pushing them to buy your products. And so I had to figure out, how do I sell? And it took me long to figure out. I enrolled in an insurance course. I needed first to understand my products very well. And then after understanding the products, then I needed to understand, what do my customers want? What are they struggling with? And when I learned that they struggled with budgeting, you know, their personal financial planning, I had to educate myself on how to plan my finances first. And I now started practicing. And guess what? I was practicing with, you know, because nobody was listening to me. My classmates, I remember I called some of them and they said, you know, all those papers, now you become a hawker. So I knew the people of what would call my standards, or rather my level, were not going to listen to me. So I was talking to kiosk owners in my neighborhood. So I would wake up in the morning and go to a kiosk owner, because, you know, at least because they would see me passing there and buying. So they respected me, the fact that I could afford milk and bread and the things they were selling. And so I would sit and say, hey, how are you planning to educate your child? And then I would take them through budgeting, planning their money. And after 3 months, on the 4th month, I managed to get my first 5 customers. And these were mostly, the first customer was selling milk. And they were earning like it was about 600 per day. And imagine we planned for 600 per day. It was enough to be able to buy their food and to pay their rent and to afford to save for an education policy for their kids. So yes, so that was my journey. And I became one of the top sales agents in the industry, not just in my company. I was working with Britam, But in the industry, I remember in every year I was in the newspaper. If you can go to those years, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014, when I became as when I was promoted to be a country sales manager. And then when I was promoted to be a country sales manager, the business was making losses, and we were able to turn it around to making profits. And in 2017, I started my own company. I realized I needed to now, I think I was becoming very innovative and very fast. And the organization structures, most big organizations are not able to move as fast as startups would do. So I started BSmart. It's an online insurance comparison platform. And the problem we were solving is what I had seen, that customers complain that they don't know what they are buying, or rather they get to know that they are not covered at the point of claim. And so our question was, how do we enable customers to know what they are buying in advance before they buy? And so that's how we started the comparison platform. So today you can compare insurance, whether it's health, motor, on a single platform from multiple insurance companies. All right, so in 2020, a very COVID year, is when I became an author. I authored my first book, Sell Me This Pen. And because of COVID, I had an opportunity or time to reflect back on how did I do it? I changed from training to selling, and I documented how I did it and what are the challenges and what are the opportunities and how can you sell? So that book is a sales book. It has a lot of very interesting stories that you would want to read. And in 2020, 2021, our business, BSmart, were able to grow our number of customers 7 times. And there are many, we've been growing, every year we've been growing, but our biggest growth was in 2020, 2021. And apparently, and the most interesting thing is in 2020, when most businesses did not grow, we still grew. Okay, the percentage was very low, but we still grew in that year. And this is why this year, 2022, I decided that I want to teach entrepreneurs and salespeople on how to have that consistent growth, that it doesn't matter the circumstances, the years, that you can keep growing. And even if you grow by 10% in a year, in a difficult year, it is better than to drop. And that is why we started sales training. Yeah, so let me go direct to, some strategies you can use. And one of the things, a basis, I would call it foundation of you becoming, selling daily and consistently is, I said one of the reasons is that many people have important goals. So you need a very compelling vision. You need a vision that is very inspiring. Compelling means it needs to be big. In 2013, 2012, 2013, I was able to grow my sales 5 times. And in 2012, I had gone through a very difficult period and had only done, I think, 1.8 million for the whole year. And in 2013, I decided that I was going to do 10 million in 1 year. This is selling life insurance. The policies that you pay 4,000 per month or 6,000 or 10,000, 10 million of that. And I said, it is big. I had never done anything like that. Nobody, I was in Mombasa then, nobody in Mombasa in the whole industry had been able to do that. And a very few people had done it in the country. Normally they're about 10 or 15, but I decided that was a goal I was going to do. And it was so big that I needed to change a lot of things. And I'm just going to share, because our training and our coaching is based on what we have done, what we have practiced, and what has worked. Because sales is a science, that if we can establish what works and you copy that, then you can replicate, you can get the same results or even better results. So I needed to change a lot of things, including losing weight, because I realized in Mombasa, you get tired very fast because there's so much heat. So I realized I was getting tired so fast because I had carried quite a lot. I had carried both physical weight and mental weight. Let me say the mental weight helped or did a good job to make me get physical weight. So, which was for me, the easiest was to lose the physical weight. And I believe that if I lose the physical weight, then I will feel good and my mental weight will go away, mental and emotional weight. So I was weighing 74 kilos. And I said, okay, for me to do this goal, I have to shed off at least 10 kgs. And in the first 3 months, I had been able to achieve that. And also I had the same first 3 months, I had set this goal into quarterly. So I was able to achieve more than a quarter, a quarter of 10 million. So make your vision big, make it meaningful to you. Make it meaningful to you and share with others. I know there's a fear of sharing your goals because many fear that, when you share your goal, some people, it may not work. That fear need to go away. You just need to just share. Now, the beauty of sharing is when you share, yes, many people may think you're bragging, but a few people will come forward to support you and to help you in this goal. So share anyway, okay? And then you need to stay in touch with your vision. You need to put it somewhere where when you wake up, is the first thing that you see. And you want, even if you're feeling like not doing it, you need to exercise self-discipline, which we define as doing what must be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. Then connect with it daily. Be very intentional to measure what actions you're doing every day that are leading you towards that vision, all right? So do not be afraid to share. I know it's not Kenyan thing to keep sharing your dreams. I share my dreams to the world, to the whole world, so that, and in the process, I get people who says, yes, can we partner? And I'll tell you, one of the reasons why we were able to grow our number of customers 7 times is because at the beginning of 2021, we're like, this year we must grow. And I told many of my friends about it. And one of my friends actually came and said, you know what? I can connect you to so-and-so. And through that connection, we've been able to get a lot of customers, and we're still growing because the partnership is generating a lot of customers actually consistently. Every day, we get customers through these partnerships that we got, okay? Then number 2, break that vision down into goals, achievable goals. And let me not call them achievable. I don't want to call them achievable. I want to call them goals that you can be able to touch, tangible, For example, is it that you want to get to increase your revenue 3 times? Or do you want to earn an extra 100K? Do you want to move from 45K to 450, meaning do you want to grow 10 times? What is it? Break it down into something you can see. Say, for example, if you want to buy a house, then you need to give it a value. Is it 12 million? Is it 18 million? Is it 20 million? How much is that with that cost? And after that, break it down into monthly, go down to monthly goal. If it is 12 million, you have 12 months in a year. So you're saying that every month I want to earn 1 million shillings. And then you even go deeper into daily. And then, of course, we will be teaching you on how to break down that and looking at your customers and how they pay you and be able to break it down to daily activities that can generate revenue every day. And strategy number 3 is you need to have a strong why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? Why are you doing it? For me, doing big sales is because I know I'm cut out for coaching and training. So, and I believe in only teaching what I understand and what I know. So for me, becoming a super sales agent was very important because I know one day I knew that someday I will need to teach other people how to sell. So I had to really do it and do a lot of uncomfortable things to achieve it, so that I can be able to help other people. And there are many other very strong why I need to do that, to do this. So you must have a strong why. Why are you doing it? Because if you don't have a strong why, then your dream is hollow and shallow. It will not go anywhere. It will just become, it will be impotent. Yeah, it will not give you the results that you want. So you need to have a very strong why. And then, so some of the whys, depending on where you are in life, in your situation, people are in different situations. Some people, it is just debt that is just hovering your head. You can't turn left or right because of debts. Is it that you want to just clear those debts? Do you want it so badly? Is it a car? Is it a house? What is it? Now, different people have different whys. And it needs to be so painful, you know, it's so strong that it keeps you awake at night. And now you want to do it so badly. So write what your why is. And the other strategy is you can't do anything alone. You need to enlist people. You need to enlist other people who will support you. This thing is not done alone. I can tell you, for 3 months traveling alone, I had to hire a coach. I needed a coach, and not just a coach. I got a coach. I always hire a coach at different areas of my life. So the coach I had for that time was able to help me actually start selling, because they were teaching me about personal financial planning. I realized I didn't need to know how to sell. I needed to know how to manage my finances. And once I know how to manage my finances, then I'll teach my customers how to do that. And then I had to enlist my house help. That time, the only employee I had was my house help, because she was the biggest support system. Because if things are not right at home, especially for women, you know that they will not be right at work. So for me, I needed to sit down with her and tell her, look, this year is going to be different. I have this goal I need to meet. It requires me to work extra hard. It requires me to be totally focused on it. So I don't want to be asked, tunapika nini jioni? So we had to come up with a timetable for cooking and all that. And you know, funny thing is, I would go home and she'd ask, leo tumeuza gapi? So she became part of this support team. Now for you, is it a sales team you need to enlist? Is it your employees, your staff that you need to enlist? Who do you need to enlist? It could be your spouse and your kids. For me, my spouse was very important in this journey, because I needed them to understand when I looked like I'm not focused on what needed to be focused. One thing I've learned in this life is that there's nothing like work-life balance. I call it intentional imbalance. You have to choose what is so important at this particular moment and then focus on it, because you can't do everything at the same time. So for me, my spouse understanding that for this year, we're going to have, this imbalance, that I will be focusing on sales and sales and sales. Okay. My son was, like the biggest fan. We would go to the supermarket, and if he met you with a child, he'd say, excuse me, how are you? You know, my mom sells Britam. He didn't know how to do it, but he would just say, my mom sells Britam, and she can sell education for your child. And through that, I was able to make even some sales, because it was a teamwork. Is it your customers that you need to enlist? Some of my customers, I had to go and tell them, look, we have been in this together. And this year, I just need your support. You're going to give me referrals. This is how you're going to support me. So it could be your very good customer.
Did you ever sit down and ask yourself how life would be?
Okay. And these customers are willing to support you. So think about, who do you need to enlist in this journey? And finally, you need to visualize, who will you become? By doing all this, remember, it's not about the goal that you achieve. It's about who you become in the process of achieving this goal, okay? And this is for you as an entrepreneur, and also for your salespeople. Remember, everybody have to go through this process. Are you going to be more self-disciplined? For me, I became more self-disciplined. I became more patient. I was a very impatient person. Those of you who have interacted with me, those who think I'm patient, I was never this way. I was never social, I was not outgoing. I had to learn how to be genuinely interested in people, because people do not care what you do. They care about how you make them feel. So I have to be genuinely interested in people. I basically had to transform my whole life. I had to be more prayerful, for those who pray. Now, most of you are Kenyans. You know that prayer works. It can be your president. So if it is prayer that you need, but also after you pray, get to work. You have to do the job. All right. So, so now, before I go to the next part, I would like to invite. I don't know whether Rukia, you're here. Are you here, Rukia? I would like to invite Rukia. Rukia just graduated yesterday from our 5 days challenge, and I just want her to share her experience. Rukia, are you there? Okay. She's not there. We have, is it Carol?
Hi, Eunice. Morning.
You're there. Good. Good morning. You can switch on your video so that people can see you.
Morning.
And you tell us
Maybe
what
briefly,
you sell.
then you allow me to.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you can see me and hear me.
Yes. Yes, we can see you, Carol.
Or am I a bit too dark?
No, we can see you. You're
All
good.
right.
You're good.
So, okay. My name is Carol, and I enlisted five
Please tell
days
us
training.
what you sell first.
I sell cleaning items. Like I do with soaps, I do with hand wash, I do with bleach, I do with manufacturing basically of cleaning agents. That's what I've been.
You're breaking. Carol, you're breaking.
Really good.
You can switch off your video.
All right.
Okay.
Let me switch off video so that you hear me.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so like I'm saying, I'm into the manufacturing industry. I'm manufacturing detergents, household detergents, or cleaning agents or cleaning products, if you wish. That's what I'm handling currently. And I was able to join the pre-election 5-day sales class, which really, really worked for me. And basically, it's just what you're sharing with us, Eunice, knowing my target clients, which was a challenge for me at the beginning, not knowing the people. I was like, the way you're saying, I was just selling to everyone. And I was wondering, how come I'm not making sales? And I keep posting in WhatsApp groups, I keep posting in Facebook, but I was not making sales. And so for me, what was important was knowing who my target clients are, and in specifics of age and how they live and their children. And I did not think that was really important. And the other thing is knowing actually how to make leads per day. Because I would wake up and not have a target of how many, just probably just post randomly, but understanding that I need to have a number of lead targets that I need to get to every day have really made a difference in my sales. That I know my target, my lead is probably 30, by knowing at the end of the day, I probably close like 10 or 15, it's made a difference and it keeps me on toes. So I just don't wake up and I'm posting or I'm marketing just randomly. So for me, knowing the lead target has made a big difference for me sales-wise. Yes, Eunice.
Awesome, Carol. Could you tell us, or you don't want to share this, how much you were selling before and how much you're selling now per day? Could you just share? Are you willing to?
Okay, maybe I'd say generally like The difference that I made in let me give an example, probably July before the class and August. In July, I remember I didn't even hit anything close to my target. Like I would go for days without making a single sale, days. But now in August, especially after my class, which was beginning of August, every day I'm able to make a sale, every day. Well, at times I don't hit my exact target, but at least I can celebrate the small wins that every day, at least I close a deal or two.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Caro, for with us. Is there anyone who has gone through the 5 days challenge and want to share? It's your moment to shine and tell people what you're selling. Because I can't tell who is here. So just raise your hand. Are you there? Okay.
Eunice, this is Anna. May I share?
Oh, go ahead, Anna.
I'm keeping my video off so that I don't encounter the same challenge that Caroline did just a few minutes ago.
At least they see. Just show and then you can, yes. How come you look like Carol?
Why?
Yes,
all right, thank you. So I attended the free webinar and the 1 week class that you hosted as we were getting into September. The reason for joining was because I was having 0 sales, and I was the accidental money comes in accidentally. You don't know what you did that worked. You don't know what you did not do that is not making people connect. And so I registered for the class because I wanted to fix that. I didn't want it to be accidental anymore. And I learned many things which those who join the class will do. I think the greatest impact that I took away from that class, and I shared at graduation yesterday, number 1 is that sales is a science and science works. Science is not luck. Science is not based on, I feel like, it is standard. So I loved that you taught us that what you put in, what you get out. You don't put in, you don't get out. And so that changed my perspective in how I do my business. So what is my business? I didn't even say what I do. I serve women who are in leadership as a coach. I have been an executive director before for 7 years. And I realized that women who are high in leadership need a safe space where they have confidence, where they have, not confidence, the word is confidentiality. They can share about their challenges and get the support they need so that they can excel in their leadership role. So that is what I do. Since the training, I've become much more intentional. I agree with Caroline. Of course, the change is not dramatic. Sales is work, but now there's a goal, there's a purpose, there's a vision for why you do what you do every single day. So I'm really grateful, Eunice, for the teachings that you took us through.
Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so I have 4 more minutes. Oh, Omi, you there?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, and glad to be here. My name is Kulthum Ali, and I'm an entrepreneur, actually sells skincare, that is minerals from the Dead Sea, and branded perfumes. So that's what I do. If anybody is interested in perfumes, you can get in touch later. Why I joined the challenge was because I needed to have time freedom, and so that I can enjoy my time, and actually, as they say, the big goals. And I had 4% of my clients that usually they just actually, is it as someone is calling it accidental sales, that actually the sales come through referrals. So through referrals, I've been able to get 4% who come all the time. They just call, they call. But you know, when you're selling things like perfumes, is a bottle of 100 ml, and it takes like 2 to 3 months, and then it's finished. That is when someone can buy again. So you cannot keep having the same clients every time. You have to look for clients. And I learned how to get leads. So I connect with every day. I connect with 10. I can close 5 or 3. And at least I sell every day. And selling is all about consistency, and all you have to do is income producing activities, and you have to be motivated. Actually, you have to have someone who is holding you accountable. That is why I came to uni, so that I can have more sales. Yeah, so you have to learn how to handle objections. Some people will tell you no, so you tell them, I mean, you cannot, if they say no, there's what we call a some will, some won't, so what, so someone else is waiting. So next, you still do that, and you keep every day putting sales in your business. So I learned a lot from Eunice. Thank you so much. I might also come back for some more lessons. Thank you, Eunice. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Umi. Ladies and gentlemen, those are just a few of our graduates. We've been running the 5 days challenge since March. Initially, when we began, it was, I think we got a few people, and it's been growing. It's been growing. So let me just go to the next part. I promised I was going to give an offer for you. And what they're talking about is what we call the 5 days challenge. This is where you just dedicate 5 days of your business to focus on sales, basically focusing on your business. And on day one, we normally look at the freedom. You had Umi talk about freedom. You know, the freedom is all salespeople and entrepreneurs, why you're in that business is because you want to enjoy freedom of time, freedom of having to afford what you need, freedom of not worrying whether they increase the fuel prices or not, that freedom. And then who is this customer that will help you achieve that freedom? So we go through that process on day one. On day two, we take you through what we call the surprising math. We say there are many ways of killing a cat. This is lead generation. So this is, how do you generate the leads? How do you get these people who are going to pay you the money that will give you the freedom that you want? And you had Umi talk about her 4%, the 64-4 rule, because all customers are not the same. So we take you through a journey of customer discovery. Discovering your customers is a lot of work that you have to do. You've had Anne say that, you know, you don't just wake up and it happens. It's a lot of work that you have to do, a lot of thinking process, a lot of digging deep into your database, because you must understand your customer. As most of them have shared, it's a science. It's not magic, but you can make the magic happen, okay? And then on day 4, we look at objection handling, because, you know, some customers will have objections for reasons. And most of the reasons is because of your way, your approach. It could be most of the reason, 90% of for objections is your work you have not done. In the science, in this process, if you don't do some things, then customers you will not close the deal. And then we also look at the blueprint. I don't know whether Anne shared what stage she is in the blueprint and how she's planning to grow to the next level. And finally, we look at what next and how you close the sale. How do you ask for the money? How do you keep growing daily, whether Eunice is there or not? So this is what I'm inviting you to join. If you want to just have this intense focus on your business. Some people come into it not even haven't figured out what their product is, you know, and what problem they solve, and they're able to get that out of that. All right. So who is this challenge for? It's for you as a business owner. We start with you as an entrepreneur. After you as an entrepreneur, then you can send your salespeople to us. Elizabeth, please send your salespeople to the 5 days challenge so that then they can be able to make sales daily and consistently. You notice that for all those who have given the testimonial, each one of them is selling every day, because our purpose and our focus is selling daily, because there's something called exponential growth when you do sales daily. If you don't grow every day, then there's no growth. Yeah. So we go down to that level of daily activities, and we'll see that. If you have stagnated or plateaued, this is for you. Somebody said they have stagnated. Who was this? I've forgotten your name, but I had somebody who has stagnated, so this is for you. And if you want to make this year your best year, yes, it's only 3 months remaining. But let me tell you something. 3 months is a big, it's long. It's long and short enough. It's long enough to give you results, and it is short enough to give you the pressure that you need to achieve your goal. If you're spending more than you're making, then this is for you. If you believe that tough times come to create bigger opportunities, then this challenge is for you. And this is the offer for you. We're starting on 26th of September. This course is valued at 15,000 shillings. That's $150. Okay, it should be more than 15, but yeah, it's valued at 15,000 shillings. You heard Elizabeth say they were paying 3,000 because that was a election season offer. So this is the season offer. This year offer, it's 5,000 shillings for you, but you need to sign up by 25th of September. I'll be sharing the link to sign up. Just remember, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So stop talking, let's do. One thing I'll tell you, and that I've observed, is that there's always a gap between what you know and what you do. And this gap is the execution gap. And this is what we fill in our programs, in our 5 days challenge. And we also have a 12 weeks accelerator. So our programs are focused on the doing, on the execution. Yes, you can find, many ways of selling in Google. You will find them. If you Google will give you answers for how to sell. But the execution is what Google cannot help you. And that's where we come in. So we are offering ourselves, I'm offering myself to be your coach from 26th that week, 5 days. Just focus on your business. And of course, some of you will join the 12 weeks accelerator, which is starting in January 2023. But for this year, the only programs we have right now is the 5 days challenge. So sign up. I've shared the link for signing up. In case you get stuck, please call that number. You'll find someone called Alison. That's my executive assistant. She was not able to join us today because she has another training that she's going through. All right, any questions after that point? It's exactly 10:05. We started at 9:05. I like to respect your time and to keep time. Questions? Elizabeth, you have a question? You're raising your hand. Go ahead. You can type your question in the chat also if you're not able to speak. Any questions or any comments? Okay, fine. There are no questions. Any comments? Yes, the class we ran for 5 days from 25th of September. No, 26th, 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 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. So Monday to Friday is normally a 1 hour session, but the work is done during the day. There's a lot of work for you to do. So we start on Monday, 26th. There's assignment for you to do on 27th. And then we meet in the evening where you're going to come and give us a report. There's something we call the hot seat. So you sit on that hot seat where you're going to tell us what you achieved on that day and why you did not achieve your goals and what you intend to do. So there's a lot of very practical assignments for your business that you're going to report every evening. Okay. Talk about service industry. Sales is a science, as I said. It doesn't matter whether you're selling a service. Of course, there's a part where it differentiates, but the sales process is the same. And what we do on the 5 days challenge is not industry specific. Let me mute this. In the 12 weeks accelerator is when we have a separate sessions for different people in the different industries. Some of them is one-on-one, but in the 5 days challenge, it is the science of selling, you know, the basics that you have to set the foundation for your selling. After that, now we can look at service or whatever it is that you're selling. Okay. As Isaiah says, thanks for this. Have learned a lot. Yes. Any other comments? Is it virtual? Yes, it is virtual. It is virtual. It's not physical. It is virtual. It is 1 hour. The session is, we have 20 minutes of you giving a report of your day and your challenges and your opportunities. And then I take about 40 minutes for training. So 40 minutes training, 20 minutes of question and answers and you sharing your experience. Yeah. Beata says you're challenged. Okay. Graham. Okay. Isaiah, you and me both. Eunice, sasa tuko hapa. Kwa hapa. Yes, yes, yes. I'm here. I'm here for you. Yeah. From what time? The sessions are between 4. They are 4 to 5. 4 to 5 every day. However, once we meet on the 26th, in case the majority want us to change the time, we can always look at that. But for now, plan with 4 to 5. And the beauty is we record every session. So in case you miss a day, which we encourage you not to miss, but in case you miss, there's the recording, you can go through it and the assignments will be posted on the, we form a community. So meaning there's a lot of interactions between you and other people. I've seen people selling to one another. I've seen partnerships forming in these teams. So once we do the recording, you can listen and do the assignment. The assignment I mark personally. It's very practical. I mark because it helps me understand your business more and I'm able to help you. So for that 1 week, I give myself to you so that I can serve you and you get the best out of the challenge, right? So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Every good thing has an end, and let's end the session for today. See you on 26th. Please talk to Alison. I've shared the number, her number. In case you get stuck, I've also shared the link. Use that link to register. In case you get stuck, you can reach out to Alison or even to myself. Okay. So have a good day. Please go sell, 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 sell. It's the only job we have. Bye.